Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This got it. This got it. This is fucking amazing. The Batman Who Laughs, the scariest Batman full story explained. I know nothing about this character. I don't know nothing about the lore, but I always hear my friends talk about it. I see edits on TikTok about him. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he looked tough. He looked tough. So let's get into it. Let's see it.
The superhero genre has always hosted more than its fair share of parallel universes, alternate timelines, and extra dimensions. From Marvel's original what-if stories and modern Secret Wars events to DC's now classic Crisis on Infinite Earths and the more recent Flashpoint, all of our favorite superheroes have had to manage multiversal mayhem for decades now. But in the last few years, it's clear that another wave of extra-dimensional enthusiasm is cresting, with the success of comic events like Spider-Verse and Flashpoint directly leading to the recent avalanche of multiverse-themed movies. Marvel and DC have their eyes firmly set towards the extra-dimensional horizon, competing to see whose alternate reality can fanfare the loudest and raise the stakes the highest. Most recently, Dark Knight's Metal saw DC's newest iteration on this age-old metaphysical musing, which introduced, among others, the Batman Who Laughs, a hair-raising sadistic merger of the Joker and Batman himself, culminating in one heartless killing machine.
Whoa, so it's the Joker and Batman combined like that? Whoa, what are we getting into here? Hold on.
Successful was the character's concept, in fact, that creators Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo saw fit to feature their Bruce Wayne from an evil domain as the titular supervillain in a 7-issue Batman limited series. So, without any further ado, let's jump straight into the first issue of the Batman Who Laughs. Issue 1. A brief but poignant memory rings in the ears of the Dark Knight. A moment of simple joy playing a children's game with his mother, father, and trusty butler. One of the few times that Bruce ever remembers truly feeling happy. Long before the night of his parents' untimely tragic demise, before the bat was even an inkling in a young boy's head. But the peaceful scene only lasts a moment as we suddenly jump to the present with Batman racing through the streets of Gotham City, hot on the heels of a smuggling ring using heavy load-bearing trucks to sneak unidentified corpses out of the city limits. As Batman chases the runaway truck across the highways, making sure to save any civilians pushed off the road by his pursuit, he soon catches up with his prey. He then ejects himself from the Bat-Raptor and careens through the air onto the back of the truck. Once there, Batman makes quick work of the small-time smugglers defending their goods, but finds something most unexpected when he searches their cargo hold: the dead body of one Bruce Wayne. Disguising himself as the doctor who works at the morgue, Bruce decides to take a closer look at what appears to be his own dead body. As he and Alfred investigate, Bruce soon begins to realize that this is no trick. With a perfect DNA match, there can be no doubt that the body on the table is in fact Bruce Wayne. But upon further inspection, Batman notices that this Bruce only has some of the scars he's accrued as Batman. He's me, but a me who's chose a different path at a crucial juncture. Bruce also notices an indentation on the corpse's finger, indicating the presence of a wedding ring. However, perhaps more importantly, Bruce and Alfred notice several differences between the dead man's face and the alive one standing over him. The corpse has long-standing smile lines and laugh lines, indicating a life lived happily. This may seem irrelevant, but I promise you won't want to forget it. Quickly realizing this deceased doppelganger to be from another universe, Batman
it's like a multiverse. Like, what the fuck?
almost immediately understands what this means and who's behind it. Alfred, it's him. He's back. I know it. Meanwhile, at Arkham Asylum, a dark, twisted Batman is killing guards without mercy, slashing, shooting, and flamethrowering his way through the most secure room in the entire compound. Finding his target there, this murderous Batman stares down the Joker from the door of the cell. Don't tell me you're actually here to kill me. The Joker smiles as he stares up at the strange, gun-toting caped crusader. No. The Batman known as the Grim Knight replies just as the Batman Who Laughs steps out from behind his personal bodyguard and chuckles, "But I am," before brutally burying his scythe deep into the skull of the Clown Prince of Crime.
Whoa, what the fuck? Wait. We gotta replay that part. Hold on.
This murderous Batman stares down the Joker from the door of the cell. Don't tell me you're actually here to kill me. The Joker smiles as he stares up at the strange gun-toting caped crusader. No. The Batman known as the Grim Knight replies just as the Batman Who Laughs steps out from behind his personal bodyguard and chuckles, "But I am," before brutally burying his scythe deep into the skull of the Clown Prince of Crime. Back at the GCPD, the Batman who mopes is cluing Jim Gordon in on the situation. He shows the commissioner a picture of the laughing bat and explains, "He comes from a realm where all of our hopes and fears exist in material form. It's my belief that the Joker's heart contains a singular super toxin that'll be released when he dies. A toxin that will make whoever kills him the next Joker. So this creature, he's me."
Oh my god, Joker back at it. So his heart like release toxins and shit. Whoever kills him, like what?
But at me,
that's crazy.
Gordon finishes the thought, also him. This detail about Joker's final failsafe will most certainly come back to haunt Bruce, but we aren't quite there just yet. Batman continues, "He's an apex predator, Jim. He's conquered and killed world after world in his dimension, and he's here for something. He has a plan. I just can't see it yet." Batman starts to dig into the mystery laid out in front of him. Bruce sees the news of the murder of a decoy Joker in Arkham at the hands of the Laughing Bat. Slowly but surely, he realizes who could possibly help him solve this puzzle and where to find him. Asking Alfred to open the Batcave's waterway security system, the Joker almost instantly bubbles up from underneath the surface, arriving in the Batcave in dramatic fashion. "You'll be safe here, Joker," Batman says as he watches his old foe surface from the depths. "But I don't want to be safe, old friend, and you don't either." Joker screams as he whips a gun from underneath his coat and waves it at the Bat. "What are you doing, Joker? We need to work together." Batman protests, but it's too late. Joker pulls the trigger, causing the trick gun he was holding to backfire directly into his own heart. Batman rushes to his side. Joker, stay with me." Why did you do that?" Joker can only weakly manage a reply. "Because the only way you'll beat him is to become him." With this, the toxin inside Joker's heart begins to seep out, infecting Batman with the very same serum that once created the Batman who laughed. As Alfred asks what's the matter, Bruce looks up with a terrifying grin plastered across his face.
Yo, this look hard as shit. This should look hard as hell. Oh shit. Yeah, Batman look like a damn demon right here.
And laughs maniacally as the toxin begins to take hold. But before we get on to the next issue, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plot armor today. Now let's see what other horrors are in store for us next, shall we? Issue 2. Barely alive from his self-inflicted gun wound, Joker lies on the operating table in the Batcave with Alfred's seasoned surgical skills the only thing keeping the megalomaniac from the great beyond. While Alfred operates, he and Bruce discuss the possibility, the mercy even, of simply letting the Joker die from his wound. Batman concretely refuses to let the Joker perish, demanding harshly that Alfred continue with his open-heart surgery to keep Batman's most fiendish foe alive. As you may have noticed already, folks, Batman's rule never to kill is a main theme in Snyder and Capullo's miniseries. The Batman who laughs being a reflection of what would happen if Batman ever were to take a life. Which is why Batman takes all the precautions he can against the serum Joker was able to infect him with, pumping himself full of antitoxin to keep his mind from slipping. But even—
Shit! All them damn... Oh my god, he was not trying to fold, but it got me.
As Bruce and Alfred sit in the cave pondering what to do next, out on the streets of Gotham, a man is thrown from the top of a building and collides sickeningly with a passing car. The victim's name, you ask? Well, you guessed it, another Bruce Wayne. Batman decides to do his best impression of Gordon's right-hand cop Harvey Bullock to get up close and personal with the crime scene. But the only thing he uncovers about his newly murdered Wayne is that once again it seems they were dragged from another dimension where Bruce gave up the bat. During Bat's uncover investigation, however, the Joker toxin pumping through his veins begins to take hold, causing Batman to momentarily lose control, almost attacking a young police officer in full view of the whole precinct. After calming down, Batman gives Gordon a small history lesson in Gotham City architecture. The Caped Crusader explains how the original founders of Gotham built failsafes into the foundation of the city to ensure the safety of their population should disaster ever strike. Batman tells Gordon how in recent years he's constructed his own improved version of the citywide safety net centered entirely around Wayne Tower. A way of sealing off the city, purifying air and water, restoring Gotham's health independently should any apocalyptic event hit the city. He calls it the last laugh. But just at that moment, the Batman who laughs waltzes carefree into the upper levels of Wayne Tower, killing security guards and
Jesus, he like cut off this man's whole arm. Oh my, bruh. This design is so tough. This design is so tough. This is what like got me. This is what reeled me in.
employees indiscriminately. When Batman arrives, the Batman who laughs proves himself every bit the tactician as his less comically inclined twin. Just as Batman gets the upper hand, a sniper shot from the Grim Knight echoes across the cityscape and impacts Bruce directly in his chest. Equipped with a taser to keep the Dark Knight detective down, the Batman who laughs gets back to work dismantling Bruce's safety net for his city. In one final insult, the laughing bat cackles, "I can smell it on you, you know, the change," before setting the entire building to blow and jumping out of the window. Batman himself barely makes it out of his family's tower before it's blown to bits before his very eyes. Furious, emotional, and with enough Joker venom to cripple an elephant churning in his bloodstream, Batman storms back to his cave and demands to speak to a barely recovered Joker. With a crazed spark in his eye, Batman demands the Joker to tell him what the Batman who laughs was planning. Joker admits he doesn't know, but points Batman towards someone who does: the police commissioner's psychopathic son, James Gordon Jr. Issue 3. The third issue of our miniseries opens with father and son reuniting in a stockroom warehouse as Commissioner Gordon is forced to turn to his serial killer son for answers. Successfully medicated for his psychopathic tendencies and tentatively allowed to work while on parole, the police commissioner's son leads a heavily overseen life, as the stipulations of his prison release demand he be under constant surveillance via his ankle bracelet. Even his father admits that, "Just because I voted against all this doesn't mean I'm not watching you. Never think I'm not watching you." But as well as James' rehabilitation had been going up until this point, on this particular night, Batman had other plans for the boy. In the midst of trying to predict which of the hundreds of ways the Batman who laughs might seek to topple Gotham, Bruce shows a full schematic to James Jr., hoping the young man's genius psychopathic mind might be able to predict what the enemy has planned next. Before
Yo, bro. Yo, they got my man Brute, man. Joker got, yeah, like Bruce going through all this shit, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, I would have been killed Joker. That's just me. I would have been, if I'm Bruce, that's gonna be my only body.
Before they can get any answers, though, Batman and the two Gordons are suddenly attacked by the Grim Knight, who demands, "Give me Gordon and no one gets hurt." When the Grim Knight and the Dark Knight face off in an old-fashioned shootout, Batman gets the upper hand by attaching the Grim Knight to a train, hoping to buy him and his allies some time to escape. The trick fails as the Grim Knight's forces almost instantly surround the three men, and eventually Batman is forced to give up Commissioner.
Nah, Grim Knight looked tough, man. He looked tough too. They were cooking her like
Gordon to the Grim Knight in order to save a commercial flight the Grim Knight has sabotaged. This leaves only Batman and the borderline psychotic James Gordon Jr. to discover and foil the plans of the Batman who laughs. Needless to say, things look extremely bleak for the unlikeliest of dynamic duos. As Batman desperately tries to track down which waterway the Batman who laughs is planning on using to cripple the city's clean water supply, the villain in question is paying a little visit to the Penguin. Arriving to the Iceberg Lounge in a fiery inferno of blood and mayhem, the caped comedian summons yet another alternate Bruce Wayne from his dimension, only to stick him with a syringe before brutally murdering the man in cold blood. But why is the Batman who laughs going around killing Waynes? I thought that was Joe Chill's job. Oh, and back at the Batcave, Joker wakes up from his rehabilitation and escapes into the night, which, I mean, is pretty much par for the course.
Man, like, Joker got Bruce going through it, man. Like, damn. Like, this is number one op. He loves this op, though. Like, he always, like, keep him alive, man. Damn. But imagine this was a movie, though. I ain't gonna lie. This will be a fire-ass movie. But I don't know how they can, like... It takes a lot to, like, implement all this shit and make it to a movie.
For him. With everything quickly falling to pieces around him, Batman realizes that James Gordon Jr.'s medication is completely preventing him from accessing his cold, calculating criminal mastermind. The only person who has the chance of solving this mystery is Batman himself. Desperate and out of options, Bruce reasons he needs to see the world as his enemy does. Bruce builds himself a replica of the Batman who laughs visor constructed of pure dark metal. Of course, this just brings our Bruce one giant step closer to being completely consumed by the Joker toxin marinating in his bloodstream. Issue 4. With his newly forged visor of dark metal, Batman plans to see the world as his enemy sees it and thereby ascertain the Laughing Bat's evil plans. But one thing stands in the way of his extremely dangerous, irresponsible, and not to mention half-baked plan: his trusty butler. Upon seeing Bruce wearing the visor, Alfred briskly snatches it from his adopted child's head, revealing Bruce's bloodshot, Joker-eyed pupils. At this, Bruce begins to get angry. Alfred, listen to me very carefully. The Batman who laughs, the way his eyes work, he sees through the membrane to the dark multiverse. If I can learn to use it, I might be able to predict where the next Bruce Wayne is coming through. Beat him.
And that's why Batman, like, he top three fucking superheroes of all time, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like, man, he's a risk taker. Like, he's willing to do all this shit just to be his opponent. Like, come on, man.
Him at his own
Stop
game.
playing with him.
Please, I'll take it from you if I have to. To which Alfred coolly responds, "You'll try," before absolutely braining Bruce with a visor to show that he means business. In his highly Jokerized state, Bruce simply does not have the self-control to let Alfred's sucker punch slide. He leaps at his butler and the two begin brutally throwing punch after punch at each other. This is an extremely significant point in our story. Never before have Bruce and Alfred so earnestly come to blows.
Alfred throwing the hands, that's how you know Bruce is tweaking.
It points not only to how compromised Batman's psyche has become from the Joker's venom in his system, but it also shows us how deeply the Batman who laughs has been able to affect Bruce, making him feel not only one step behind, but so utterly desperate that he would do anything to get back in the game. Eventually, after Bruce regains his composure, he and Alfred hug it out, though Alfred is forced to relinquish the Dark Metal visor to Bruce as the only plan he has to save Gotham still hinges on it. As Batman and Alfred have their familiar quarrel in the privacy of the Batcave, Commissioner Gordon is having just about the worst afternoon of his life as he sits chained to a chair at the mercy of the Batman who laughs and the Batman who likes guns. During one evil monologue, the Batman who giggles casually reveals that the Grim Knight and the Jim Gordon on his world were mortal enemies rather than partners. This, while the least of the Commissioner's problems at the moment, will become fairly important a little later down the line. Meanwhile, with his new shades equipped, Batman tears off through the streets of Gotham City looking for anything that might tip him off to his target's location. The Dark Metal visor proves difficult to drive with, particularly because each time it begins feeding visions of the dark multiverse to Bruce's eyes, the Joker venom inside him threatens to take over completely. Even James Jr., who calls to check in on Bat, wonders, even when you win, in case you can't stop what's happening to you, do you have a failsafe? At the moment he's asked the question, Batman's memory jumps back to when he was checking the Last Laugh's water supply for possible contamination. Stepping forth from the shadows was someone Batman had assumed was long gone. The Joker. With a gnarly scar over his chest where he'd been opened up in surgery, the Clown Prince of Crime and the Dark Knight Detective have what amounts to a heart-to-heart between arch-enemies. Joker admits that booby-trapping his own heart was just a deterrent, and that what he really wants is for neither of them to win so they can go on chasing each other forever.
That's what I'm saying, bro! That's what I'm saying! Oh my god, bro. Like, they just love each other so much. They don't want to kill each other. If it's me, if I'm Batman, I'm killing this dude. Like, bro, he been a fucking pest. Like, he just been a bug on my shoulder. Like, damn. Damn it, Bruce.
Batman, for his part, asks Joker to kill him if he succumbs to the venom in his veins and turns into the Batman who laughs. "Oh, I'll blow your head off," replies Joker, and the two share a maniacal laugh in the cold, damp air of the reservoir. While it's interesting to see Batman and his foremost rival operating on the same side for once, their cordial, almost good-natured relationship is at best jarring and at worst completely unbelievable. While it's true that Batman is heavily under the effects of a Joker serum, it feels entirely implausible for him to ever refer to the man that has killed his loved ones as my friend. But regardless of the pair's its complicated status, Batman successfully uses his new visor to track where the next interdimensional Bruce Wayne is being summoned. Batman is met with considerable force as he searches Blackgate Penitentiary for his quarry. After all, the guards at the prison are on high alert for a man completely matching Batman's appearance, especially while he's wearing his scary glasses. Convincing the officer that he can be trusted, Batman suddenly finds himself teleported to a different Blackgate, one much larger and more upscale, run by none other than, you guessed it, Bruce Wayne. As abruptly as he arrived, however, Batman said,
Nah, they gotta make this a movie, bro. Just somehow, bro. Please. Bro, it'd be the movie of the year. Like, come on, man. They gotta make this a damn movie.
Jumps back to his own dimension with Warden Bruce Wayne in tow. Meanwhile, Commissioner Gordon's no good, very bad day just keeps getting worse, as the Grim Knight releases him from his chains and tells him, "You hunted me on my world. I'm gonna hunt you on yours. Run, Jim. Run." Releasing his rabid Robins to chase Gordon through the sewers, the Grim Knight tortures the Commissioner as his evil boy terrors quickly catch up with Jim and begin literally taking their pound of flesh, leaving Gordon sobbing helpless and begging someone to find him soon before it's too late. Unfortunately for Batman, his day is about to get much worse as more armored guards begin to surround him, assuming that he's the Batman who laughs. Just barely managing to hold them off, no sooner does Batman think he's in the clear than a glass wall falls from the ceiling, sectioning Batman off from the elder Bruce Wayne and locking him with the trigger-happy officers scrambling to reach him. Batman watches helplessly as the Batman who laughs removes his guard disguise and brutally murders another multiversal Bruce Wayne before his very eyes. And just as Batman thinks things can't get any worse, the rest of Blackgate's officers begin to open fire, raining a torrent of bullets down on him without hesitation or mercy. Issue 5. After breaking through the glass barrier and using his alternate self's corpse as a human shield, Batman finally manages to escape after leveraging all he knows about the officers' families and loved ones to buy himself time to escape. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe a year from now, but I will come for you and everyone you love, and I will make what happened to this Bruce Wayne here look like a damn mercy. Batman bellows as he lifts up the decapitated head of his alternate self. The trick works and the guards let
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This got it. This got it. This is fucking amazing. Oh. This is the Batman I've been waiting to see. This is what I've been waiting to see.
Batman walk out unscathed, but at what cost? Underneath all of the action above ground, James Gordon's personal hell continues to heat up in the Gotham sewers. As the rabid Robins continue gnawing on him, the Grim Knight explains that these Robins are all alternate versions of his son James Jr., each taken from a different timeline and turned into something twisted and terrible. Usually it takes a while for someone to become a Robin, but your boy, it was almost like he wanted it, like it's all he ever wanted, chastises the Grim Knight. That is until his real son, James Jr., appears from the shadows and guns down both the boy terrors in quick succession, not only saving his father, but forcing the Grim Knight to retreat back into the tunnels. As Jim and James Jr. race towards the surface and attempt to reunite with Batman, the Batman who laughs has other plans. Availing himself to the Court of Owls, another of Snyder and Capullo's creations, the court refuses to even consider the demon's case, but when it's revealed that the Batman who laughs has already defeated their Talon bodyguards, the court immediately and abruptly adjourns for the day. Then, yet another Bruce Wayne blips into existence dressed in traditional Talon attire. The Laughing Bat makes quick work of him, killing yet another extra-dimensional Wayne. Soon after, Batman...
Yo, he just murking all the fucking Bruce Waynes, bro. They're just getting clapped. Oh my goodness.
The two Gordons reunite in the Batcave to discuss their next move. Finally, it seems the trio understands their enemy's endgame. I was in his lair, Batman, and the stuff he's making, this serum, you're right. It changes people into their worst selves, cell by cell, Jim tells him. With that, Batman has all the presumption he needs to begin to put the Last Laugh protocol into place, effectively sealing off the city so that no outside contaminants can infiltrate the public water or air supplies. But Batman soon realizes something terrifying. He can't hack Last Laugh, but he's found some kind of access to the damn reservoir. He needed me to get to it. It's always been his plan. At the moment of his dark realization, the Bat computer receives an incoming message. Though Commissioner Gordon begs Batman not to open it, the detective in him can't resist the temptation. When the Batman who laughs hologram materializes in the cave, the maniac explains, Last Laugh was created so that Gotham could become a seat of power. A fortress city where a new, stronger man would be incubated. The point of Gotham was to conquer. The Last Laugh was a strategy, a destiny. Batman sits in stunned silence as he listens to his dark and twisted self explain his reasoning.
Also, real shit, like, why would you want to live in Gotham? Like, damn, even if I'm homeless, bro, I'm getting out that city. I am getting out that city. Too many ops, too many criminals. Like, bro, like, Batman, I appreciate you, bro. Like shit, he was scaring me. Like, you see a fucking 6'3", where he probably like 230 or something, just flying across buildings and shit. I said, oh hell nah, bro. This is not worth it, bro. Let me move somewhere else. I don't know why they want to live in Gotham. And walking like through alleyways, like, who would do some shit like that in Gotham City? Come on now.
As the counter ticks down to 0 and the last laugh protocol begins to initiate, Commissioner Gordon attempts to stop Batman from letting the timer run out, only to be gruffly thrown to the ground as Batman continues to consider his options. Bruce even signals the cave to drop stalactites on James Jr. before he can get any ideas. As the final seconds of the last laugh countdown tick by, tears stream down Batman's face. It seems at long last as though the Joker toxin in his system has finally gotten the better of him. And even though Alfred screams begging Bruce not to let the timer run out, Batman sits and does nothing as the last laugh protocol goes into effect. Exactly what his enemy wanted. Issue 6. At the start of the penultimate chapter, Alfred relays to Bruce that the toxicity levels in his blood have consolidated to 90%, leaving only 10% of his healthy blood left in his system. But even though Batman is nearly past the point of no return, he hasn't quite lost control just yet. As Batman lays out his last-ditch plan to save his city, it relies heavily on Jim and James Gordon keeping the Grim Knight from reaching the reservoir and sabotaging the entire operation. As father and son suit up with the Batcave's ample resources for the fight ahead of them, Batman goes off on his own. While he waits for the Batman Who Laughs to come and meet him on the battlefield, Bruce drops the dark metal visor he's been using to see the world through his enemy's eyes, content to witness his adversary for the final time through his own. Interdimensional energy crackles alongside the pale lightning of Gotham's stormy skies.
This hard right here. This hard right here. This hard.
As two sons of the city stare each other down. "I'll never be you," Batman promises, even as the toxicity of his blood spikes beyond repair. "I like you, Bruce," the laughing Bat crackles back. "You know what? You may be the worst Batman, but you'll make a damn good me." The two Waynes lunge at one another, each of them knowing this will be their final confrontation. Above ground, as the two Batmen clash with fist and chain, below ground, the Grim Knight advances on the defenses of the Last Laugh Reservoir. Slicing through the Batbot security drones with ease, the Grim Knight needs only to tip his hand over the edge to release the toxin into the water supply. But before he can even flinch, a net encases the Knight. Commissioner Gordon and James Jr. glide down from the cave ceiling where...
Yo, this shit looks so weird, bro. It's like he's not even supposed to be in that suit. What the hell?
Early designs for what would eventually become Batman Beyond suit. James and Jim unload their guns into the Grim Knight, but the hate-crazed Goliath refuses to fall, chastising James Jr. for standing with his father after the Gordon family had abandoned him to prison so long ago. "He doesn't believe in you, James. He doesn't love you," squeals the Grim Knight as he approaches the two Gordons. "What the hell do you know about love? I love my son with every damn bone in my body," rages the police commissioner as his knuckles connect against the Grim Knight's chiseled chin. But the wartime Batman proves too much for Jim, and as the father struggles to breathe through an iron grip chokehold, the son pulls down his mask and seems to allow the Grim Knight to strangle Jim Gordon. Meanwhile, the fight topside raged on. The Joker toxin pumping in his ears, Batman couldn't afford to hold back against his topsy-turvy nightmare self. As the Cape Crusader stood stalwart against the Cape Comedian, his muscles sore from abuse and his bones threatening to give way after each punch, one final Bruce Wayne blips into their universe. When a young, innocent Bruce Wayne arrives, having just been playing a children's game with his mother, father, and butler, remember, from the very first page? "I won't let you near him," shouts Batman at the demon racing towards him, death on his breath and fury in his eyes. The Batman Who Laughs soon gets the better of Batman and manages to inject more Joker toxin directly into Bruce's chest, completely filling his bloodstream with more toxin than he can bear. Issue 7.
GG's.
Batman lies defeated, his entire body convulsing as unimaginable levels of Joker toxin swim through his bloodstream, turning each and every cell into a dark, twisted...
Oh, he's cooked. Oh my goodness. He's so cooked. Look at his face. Oh no.
Wasteland. As Batman stands, a grin of malice and hatred spreading across his face, he and the demon across the field from him stare into each other's eyes. "See, I was right, wasn't I? Letting the old Bruce go. Becoming the Batman Who Laughs. It feels good, doesn't it, brother?" The Batman Who Laughs chuckles even as he speaks, reveling in his victory, his unmitigated success. He lifts his machine gun up and points it at Bruce, who doesn't flinch an inch as he stares down the barrel of the gun, knowing once and for all that this must be the end. And yet, even as Batman accepts his fate, the Batman Who Laughs gun soon turns to point at his own head. But just as it looks as though the laughing bat is going to shoot himself in the head, he whips his machine gun back around on Batman and opens fire, sending a spray of lead through Batman's shoulder. For he had seen a glint of refusal in Batman's eyes and decided his work was not yet finished after all. The demon smirks as he grumbles, You almost had me, Bruce. Now, I don't know why you're not changing all the way, but I don't care anymore.
Nah, Bruce got some crazy ass will, man. His willpower is insane. Oh my god. Bro, like, how much toxins he got in his body? Yo, he's like filled up and he's still like, he's not folding.
Now I'm just going to kill you. As Bruce begins to bleed out from his gunshot wounds, Jim and James Jr. are faring no better at the reservoir where Grim Knight has the commissioner by the throat. But in a stunning moment of surprise, Jim manages to impact his knee into the Grim Knight's gut and throw the knife from his hand into the water below. With that, both father and son dive into the water to retrieve the weapon, though James Jr.'s intentions with the knife are known only to himself. When the commissioner washes up on shore without the weapon, the Grim Knight is waiting for him. The Knight explains that the drones of the Last Laugh Protocol are, at the very moment, heading to spray the Joker serum across all of Gotham, and that the water in the reservoir is infected with that same serum. Taking Gordon by the neck once more, the Knight forces the commissioner under the waves and begins drowning him in the compromised water. But when the Grim Knight asks James Jr. to finish the job, Gordon's son hesitates. He turns the knife over in his palm and says, "I'm sorry, Dad," before bringing the knife down on the Knight instead. Over and over, James Jr. plunges the steel into the back of the Grim Knight, not stopping until the warmongering Batman moves no more. His father yells, "Stop, James! James, it's time!"
Oh, nah. Damn, he fucking murked the fucking Grim Knight? Damn.
To stop. Gordon grabs the remote from the Grim Knight and manages to call off the drones mere moments before they reach the city limits and begin propagating their poison. Just as the Batman Who Laughs is ready to pull the final trigger and end Batman's life once and for all, the young boy who blipped in from another universe screams, "No, leave him alone!" Of course, this attracts the attention of the demonic Bat and he tears off after the young Bruce Wayne instead of finishing off his true foe. The laughing Bat catches up with the boy amidst the graves and tombstones that holds the body of Martha and Thomas Wayne. Alfred lies in wait with a shotgun, unloading the entire clip into the chest of the—
Woo! My boy Alfred! Alfred got that fire! He got that fire!
The Batman Who Laughs. Die and go back to the hell that you came from, Alfred yells as he reportedly pumps the demon full of lead. But Alfred is unable to stop the assault of the Batman Who Cackles until he takes a boot to the back of the head as Batman once again arrives to finish their fight. "Well, B, why the hell aren't you changed?" asks the demon. "Just lucky, I guess," replies the Bat, but he doesn't stop there. "After our first encounter, I set traps for you in the places only Bruce Wayne would know. Crime Alley, the cave, the manor, here." Before the laughing Bat even has a chance to look over his shoulder, 5 serrated bolts impact him from every angle. "Depleted uranium shell harpoons, actually," Batman calmly explains. "Meant for incapacitating tanks and evil Batmen." The electric shock that those harpoons induct into the Batman Who Laughs sizzles the demon's very skin and cauterizes his insides. "You are the worst. You're up in joke. We all laugh at you," screeches the laughing Bat as he desperately tries to untangle himself from the lines. "That may be," replies Batman as he lifts the headstone from Martha Wayne's gravesite. "But you know who's a bigger joke than the worst Batman? The Batman he beats." And with that, Bruce Wayne smashes the Batman Who Laughs over the head with a tombstone of his mother. But even as his enemy dies, Batman begins to feel himself be taken over by the Joker toxin in his blood. Until that is, the Joker arrives on the scene, fulfilling his promise to Batman and shooting him just as the transformation began to take permanent hold. In the aftermath, Joker shooting Bruce incapacitated him for just long enough to let Alfred detoxify his blood. Recovering in the cave, Bruce melts down all the rest of the dark metal he owns. The Batman Who Laughs is revealed to be locked up, impossibly secured inside the Hall of Justice, never to escape. Even Jim and James Jr. make up in the end, with the Commissioner's son returning to his parole program to continue his rehabilitation. Though as Gordon walks off through the streets of Gotham, his drink of the reservoir water has clearly infected Gotham's police commissioner with the same serum intended for the entire city. Well, that does it for this video, everyone.
No way. Damn, that's crazy. That's like, okay. Nah, that's a crazy origin story. Yeah, I mess with that. Nah, the Batman Who Laughs, I wish they can make this a show or a movie, something, bro. Like, I want to see this shit live action. It'd be so fun. Like, bro, DC got the content, man. They can make so many fire movies, bro. They can really, like, take over that shit, but I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, what else y'all got me to react to? Comment down below. Peace.